In the small village of Ashanti, there lived two brothers, Kofi and Kwame. They were very close and did everything together. They helped their mother in the fields and played games with the other children. Everyone in the village knew them as the best of friends. But one sunny afternoon, everything changed. A beautiful girl named Abena moved to Ashanti. She had sparkling eyes and a bright smile. Kofi and Kwame both noticed her right away. They wanted to talk to her and get to know her. Little did they know that this girl would change their lives forever. One day, the brothers saw Abena sitting by the river. She was laughing and playing with the other girls. Kofi said, "Let's go say hello." Kwame agreed, but he felt nervous. They both walked over to her, and Kofi was the first to speak. "Hello. My name is Kofi, and this is my brother, Kwame." Abena smiled at them and said, "Hi. I'm Abena. It's nice to meet you." Kwame felt his heart race. He liked her kind smile. They all talked and laughed together, and the brothers felt happy. But inside, both Kofi and Kwame were starting to feel something else too. They were beginning to fall in love with her. As days passed, Kofi and Kwame often met Abena by the river. They played games, told stories, and enjoyed each other's company. Kofi felt very happy when Abena laughed at his jokes. He started to dream about her every night. Kwame also felt special when Abena looked at him with her sparkling eyes. One evening, as the sun set, Kofi decided to ask Abena to join him for a walk. He wanted to tell her how he felt. At the same time, Kwame thought he should ask her too. They both wanted to take her for a walk, and their hearts raced with excitement. But they did not know that their love for Abena would soon turn into a problem. One day, Kofi and Kwame argued about who should ask Abena to the village festival. Kofi shouted, "I saw her first. She likes me more." Kwame replied angrily, "No. She likes me. You are just jealous." Their arguments grew louder, and the other villagers began to notice. They were surprised to see the two brothers fighting. Kofi and Kwame's words became hurtful, and their friendship started to crack. They were both determined to win Abena's heart, but neither wanted to lose his brother. The jealousy between them was growing like a big storm, and they did not know how to stop it. The village festival was only a few days away, and everyone was excited. There would be dancing, singing, and delicious food. Kofi and Kwame wanted to impress Abena and show her who loved her more. Kofi decided to make a beautiful flower crown for her. He spent hours picking the most colorful flowers from the fields. Meanwhile, Kwame had his own plan. He wanted to win Abena's heart by showing off his dancing skills. He practiced every day, hoping to impress her. Both brothers were determined, but they didn't realize how their competition was pushing them apart. The night of the festival arrived, and the village was alive with joy. Colorful lights lit up the night, and laughter filled the air. Kofi and Kwame both wore their best clothes. Kofi found Abena first and presented her with the flower crown. "I made this for you," he said proudly. Abena's eyes sparkled with happiness as she placed the crown on her head. "Thank you, Kofi. It's beautiful." Meanwhile, Kwame watched from a distance, feeling hurt and angry. He knew he had to do something to win her over, and he began to dance, hoping to catch her attention. Kwame danced gracefully, moving to the rhythm of the drums. Everyone cheered for him, but Kofi felt jealous. He wanted Abena to notice him too. Kofi stepped forward and started dancing beside his brother. They both tried to outshine each other, and the competition turned the joyful dance into a battle. Abena watched them, her heart fluttering with confusion. She liked both brothers but didn't know who to choose. As the dance continued, the tension between Kofi and Kwame grew stronger. The night that was supposed to be full of joy was becoming a place of rivalry. As the festival continued, Abena felt torn between the two brothers. Kofi was sweet and caring, while Kwame was confident and charming. She liked both of them, but she didn't want to hurt either brother. She decided to take a break and walked away from the dance floor. Kofi and Kwame noticed her absence and looked for her. They both wanted to find her first and show her their love. They searched high and low, and their rivalry only grew as they raced against each other. Abena's heart ached as she realized how her presence was causing a divide between the two brothers. After searching, Kofi and Kwame finally found Abena sitting alone by the river. "Why did you leave?" Kofi asked, trying to hide his frustration. "Yes, we were worried," Kwame added, trying to sound calm. Abena sighed, feeling sad. "I just needed some time to think," she replied. The brothers stared at each other, and the air was thick with tension. Kofi spoke first. "Abena, I like you a lot, and I want to be with you." Kwame quickly added, "But I like her too." "You can't just say that." Their feelings spilled out like a flood, and Abena felt scared. She didn't want to be the reason for their fight. Abena looked at both brothers, her heart heavy. "Please, I don't want to choose. I care about you both," she said softly. Kofi and Kwame looked at each other, realizing how much they were hurting her. "Maybe we can all be friends," Kofi suggested, trying to find a solution. Kwame nodded but felt uneasy. "I don't know if I can just be friends." "I really like you, Abena," he admitted. Abena smiled gently, hoping to ease the tension. "Let's take it one day at a time. I want us to be happy together." But deep inside, she knew the rivalry between the brothers was far from over. The next day, Kofi came up with a plan. He suggested a challenge to see who could impress Abena the most. "Let's have a contest. Whoever wins gets to take her to the next festival," he proposed. Kwame was surprised but excited. "Okay, I accept your challenge," he replied. Abena watched them, feeling nervous. "Wait. I don't want you to fight over me," she said. But the brothers were already too excited about the idea. They were ready to do anything to win her heart. Abena wished they could just be friends, but now a battle was about to begin. The first challenge was to create something special for Abena. Kofi decided to bake her favorite cookies. He spent hours in the kitchen, mixing flour, sugar, and chocolate chips. He imagined Abena's happy face when she tasted them. Meanwhile, Kwame chose to paint a beautiful picture of the village. He wanted to show Abena how much he loved her by capturing their home's beauty. Both brothers worked hard, each hoping to impress Abena. But as they focused on their tasks, the rivalry between them grew stronger. Kofi was excited about his cookies. He baked them in the oven and waited eagerly. But when he opened the oven door, a terrible smell filled the kitchen. "Oh no! They burned," he exclaimed. He felt sad and worried that he had lost the challenge. Determined not to give up, Kofi quickly tried to bake another batch. He worked fast, but the clock was ticking. He wanted to finish before Kwame, who was busy painting away. Kofi felt stressed but didn't want to lose his chance with Abena. Meanwhile, Kwame was focused on his artwork, unaware of Kofi's cookie troubles. After hours of hard work, Kwame finally finished his painting. He was proud of what he had created. It showed the village under the bright sun, with children playing and animals grazing. He thought Abena would love it. On the other hand, Kofi managed to bake a fresh batch of cookies just in time. Although they were not perfect, he felt happy. The brothers met Abena by the river, excited to show her what they had made. She clapped her hands in delight, eager to see the result of their hard work. Abena looked at Kwame's painting first. "Wow! This is beautiful," she exclaimed. Kwame smiled, feeling proud. Then she tried Kofi's cookies. She took a bite and smiled, but it was clear that they were not as good as she hoped. They taste a bit different, she said kindly, trying not to hurt Kofi's feelings. Kofi felt embarrassed but was happy that Abena liked his effort. I tried my best, he admitted with a shy smile. The brothers watched her closely, eager to see who she would favor. Abena enjoyed their company but wished she could be honest without hurting either brother. As the days passed, the rivalry between Kofi and Kwame grew stronger. They started to compete in everything. If one brother helped Abena with her chores, the other would find a way to help her even more. They were both trying to win her heart, but it was creating a rift between them. Abena felt caught in the middle. She liked spending time with both brothers, but she could see how their competition was hurting their relationship. Can't we just enjoy being together, she thought, wishing they could go back to the days when they were all friends. But the jealousy was becoming a big problem. One evening, Kofi proposed another challenge. Let's see who can make Abena laugh the most, he said with a grin. Kwame agreed, thinking he could win this one. They planned a funny skit to perform for her the next day. Both brothers practiced hard, trying to come up with the best jokes and funny actions. Abena was excited but nervous. She wanted to enjoy the show but felt worried about the competition. She hoped the brothers could focus on having fun instead of trying to win her over. But the rivalry seemed unstoppable, and Abena could only watch as they prepared for their performance. The day of the performance arrived, and the brothers gathered the village children to watch. Kofi went first, pretending to be a clumsy goat. He stumbled and made silly faces, and the children laughed loudly. Abena couldn't help but giggle, enjoying the show. Next, it was Kwame's turn. He dressed as a silly chicken and acted like he was laying eggs everywhere. The crowd roared with laughter. Abena clapped her hands, loving both performances. But as Kofi and Kwame glanced at each other, they saw the competition in each other's eyes. They both wanted to impress her the most. After the performance, Abena was full of joy. You both were amazing, she said, her eyes shining. But inside, she felt sad about the competition. She could see how much the rivalry was affecting the brothers. They were becoming more focused on winning than on enjoying their time together. Kofi and Kwame smiled at her praise but felt a sense of unease. They loved making Abena happy, but their rivalry was tearing them apart. They started to wonder if winning her heart was worth losing their brotherly bond. The laughter faded, leaving a heavy feeling in the air. That night, Abena couldn't sleep. She thought about Kofi and Kwame. I wish they could see how special their friendship is, she whispered to herself. She decided she needed to talk to them about how they were feeling. Maybe I can help them understand, she thought, hoping to bring back the happy times. The next day, she met with both brothers at their usual spot by the river. I need to talk to you both, she said gently. Kofi and Kwame looked at her, curious but nervous. I care about you both, but this rivalry is hurting us, she explained. I want us to be happy together. Kofi and Kwame listened closely as Abena spoke. You are brothers first, and that is very special. You shouldn't let me come between you, she continued. The brothers looked at each other, realizing how much their competition had changed their relationship. Kofi spoke up, I didn't mean to hurt you, Kwame. I just wanted to show Abena how much I care. Kwame nodded, feeling the same. I'm sorry too, Kofi. I let my jealousy get the best of me. Abena smiled, feeling relieved. Let's promise to be friends first and make each other happy, she suggested. Kofi and Kwame nodded in agreement. They both reached out and shook hands, promising to put their brotherhood first. Abena felt happy knowing that they were willing to change. Let's enjoy our time together, she said, her eyes sparkling with joy. From that day on, the brothers tried to focus on their friendship instead of competing for Abena's affection. They spent time together, playing games and helping each other. Abena felt more comfortable and happy, knowing that their bond was growing stronger again. As the days passed, Kofi and Kwame found joy in being together. They played with the village children, danced, and shared stories. Abena joined them, and their laughter filled the air. The competition was fading, replaced by the love and friendship they once had. Abena felt grateful for the brothers' change of heart. She enjoyed spending time with both of them, appreciating their unique qualities. Kofi was funny and sweet, while Kwame was charming and caring. Together, they created beautiful memories in the village of Ashanti. The village announced a harvest festival, and everyone was excited. There would be plenty of food, dancing, and games. Kofi and Kwame decided to work together to make the festival special. They wanted to help Abena and show her how much they cared. They spent days preparing, gathering food and decorations. Abena joined them, and together they created beautiful flower arrangements. The brothers felt proud of their teamwork and happy to see Abena smiling. They were no longer rivals, they were brothers working together. On the night of the harvest festival, the village came alive. People danced, sang, and celebrated together. Kofi and Kwame helped Abena set up the decorations, and they all laughed as they walked. The air was filled with the delicious smell of food, and everyone was happy. As the night progressed, the brothers took turns dancing with Abena. Kofi spun her around, and they both laughed, while Kwame tried to show off his dance moves. Abena felt like the luckiest girl in the world, surrounded by the joy of friendship and love. As the festival continued, Kofi and Kwame realized they both liked Abena. They hadn't completely forgotten about their feelings. One evening, while they were resting, Kofi said, "I still have feelings for Abena." "What about you, Kwame?" Kwame nodded, feeling the same. "I do too. But I want us to be happy together. Can we find a way?" They both knew they had to talk to Abena about their feelings again. The rivalry was gone, but their hearts were still unsure. They didn't want to hurt their brother or Abena. The next day, Kofi and Kwame decided to talk to Abena together. They found her sitting under a big tree, looking thoughtful. "Abena, we want to talk to you," Kofi said nervously. She looked up and smiled. "What is it?" she asked. Kwame took a deep breath. "We both like you, Abena. But we don't want our friendship to get in the way," he admitted. Abena felt her heart race. "I'm happy to hear you both like me," she said, trying to remain calm. "But what do we do now?" Kofi and Kwame looked at each other, feeling uncertain. They didn't want to make things difficult. "Maybe we can let you decide who you want to be with," Kofi suggested. "But we also want to stay friends," Kwame added quickly. Abena felt overwhelmed. "I like both of you, but I need time to think," she replied gently. The brothers nodded, understanding her feelings. They promised to give her space, hoping she would find a way to choose without hurting either of them. As the days passed, Abena spent time reflecting on her feelings. She enjoyed being with both brothers, but she knew she had to make a choice. Kofi was funny and sweet, while Kwame was confident and caring. Each had their own special qualities that she loved. Abena often walked by the river, thinking about her decision. She wished she could have both brothers by her side, but she knew that wasn't possible. Her heart was torn, and she felt sad. She didn't want to hurt anyone. Finally, Abena decided it was time to talk to Kofi and Kwame again. She found them sitting together under a tree, laughing and sharing stories. "Can we talk?" she asked, her voice serious. The brothers immediately stopped and nodded, sensing the importance of the moment. Abena took a deep breath. "I care about both of you, but I need to make a decision. I want to be honest with you." Kofi and Kwame listened intently, their hearts pounding. They both wanted to know who she would choose, but they also wanted her to be happy. After a moment of silence, Abena continued, "I appreciate everything you both have done for me. You are amazing brothers and friends. But I have realized that my heart belongs to one of you." The brothers held their breath, waiting for her answer. "Kwame, I like you very much," she said softly. Kofi felt a wave of emotions wash over him, but he smiled, knowing he wanted her to be happy. Kwame's face lit up with joy. "Thank you, Abena. I promise to make you happy," he exclaimed. With Abena's choice made, Kofi and Kwame felt a mix of emotions. Kofi was sad to lose his chance with Abena but was happy for his brother. "I'm glad you found happiness, Kwame," he said, putting on a brave face. Kwame hugged Kofi tightly. "We will always be brothers, no matter what," he assured him. Abena smiled, feeling relieved that the tension had faded. She hoped they could all remain friends and continue to enjoy their time together. As days went by, Kofi and Kwame worked to strengthen their bond. They played games, helped each other, and even teased one another. Abena joined them whenever she could, enjoying the friendship that was slowly returning. Kofi realized that being a good brother was more important than winning Abena's heart. He was proud of Kwame and wanted him to be happy. The rivalry that had once torn them apart was becoming a distant memory. The village planned a big celebration to honor the harvest. Everyone was excited to join in the festivities. Kofi, Kwame, and Abena helped prepare for the event, gathering food and decorations. They worked together, sharing laughter and stories. On the day of the celebration, the village was filled with music and joy. Kofi felt happy watching Kwame and Abena together. He realized that he could find joy in their happiness, and he began to feel at peace with his decision. One day, a stranger arrived in the village. He was tall and dressed in bright clothes. "I'm here for the harvest festival," he announced. Everyone was curious about him, and the villagers welcomed him with open arms. The stranger's name was Daniel. He quickly became popular among the villagers, especially with the children. Abena and the brothers were intrigued by him, but Kofi felt a small sense of worry. Would this new arrival change things between them? As the days went by, Daniel began to spend more time with Abena. He was charming and funny, and Abena seemed to enjoy his company. Kofi and Kwame watched from a distance, feeling uneasy. "What if she likes him more than us?" Kofi whispered to Kwame. Kwame frowned, feeling protective of Abena. "We need to show her that we care," he said. But Kofi and Kwame felt the old feelings of jealousy returning. They realized that their bond was being tested again, and the rivalry was creeping back into their lives. Kofi and Kwame decided they needed to take action. They wanted to remind Abena of the special moments they had shared. "Let's plan something fun for her," Kofi suggested. Kwame agreed, and they brainstormed ideas to win her attention back. They decided to organize a picnic by the river, just like they used to. Kofi would prepare her favorite cookies, and Kwame would bring fruits and drinks. They hoped this would show Abena how much they cared for her and help her remember their friendship. On the day of the picnic, Kofi and Kwame set everything up early. They decorated the area with flowers and laid out a big blanket under a shady tree. When Abena arrived, her eyes sparkled with surprise. "Wow! This is beautiful," she exclaimed. Kofi smiled proudly as he handed her the cookies. Kwame poured the drinks, and they all sat down together, enjoying the delicious food and each other's company. As they laughed and reminisced about old times, Kofi and Kwame felt hopeful that Abena would remember the special bond they shared. As the picnic went on, Abena realized how much she valued her friendship with the brothers. They made her laugh, and she loved being with them. But she also felt torn because of Daniel's presence. "I care about you both so much," she said, her voice serious. Kofi and Kwame exchanged glances, feeling the weight of her words. "We want you to be happy, Abena," Kofi said softly. Kwame nodded in agreement. "But we also want you to remember our friendship." Abena smiled, knowing they understood her feelings. She promised to always cherish their bond. In the days that followed, Abena spent time with both Kofi and Kwame, balancing her friendship with them and her growing feelings for Daniel. The rivalry slowly faded as the brothers focused on supporting Abena's happiness. Kofi and Kwame learned that true love also means letting go. They understood that friendships are precious, and they would always have each other's backs. Abena felt grateful for the love and friendship surrounding her, knowing they would always be part of her life. The village of Ashanti became a place of joy, laughter, and love as they embraced their new beginnings together. And that is the end of our story. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please give it a thumbs up and share it with others, and also subscribe for more interesting content.